The Flyers are heading back to the playoffs after one hell of like a 2 month period. And my first thought was, oh, good for Flyers fans. Like that's cool. You know, Philadelphia is a better sports town when hockey is good. My second immediate thought was, man, do a lot of people owe Rick Tocchet an apology? Because when Rick Tocchet was hired, all I heard from people was, oh, here we go, typical Flyers, hiring former players. Here we go again. This never works out. What has he really done? Had stop offs in Phoenix, had a good little stretch with Vancouver, but other than that, like, no, it's just Jonesy and Briere hiring their buddies again. You know, typical Flyers. This isn't going to work. And then the season plays out. And what was the one constant thing that we heard throughout the entire year? It wasn't the emergence, or I should say the reemergence of Trevor Zegras in Rick Tocchet's system. No. It wasn't that. We're not going to look at positive because this is Philadelphia, and damn it, if 99 things happen, we're going to focus on the one negative. It wasn't that at all. It was, oh my God, he's ruining Matvei Michkov. What is going on with Matvei Michkov? Why isn't Matvei Michkov playing? And I get it. I mean, like last season, Michkov was the reason why so many fans watched, because he was the glimmer of hope. Like he was this young possible superstar in Philadelphia, and you looked at him as a potential Rookie of the Year candidate. I was surprised he wasn't one of the finalists for the Calder. I think he probably would have finished fourth in the voting. Again, I would have had him in top three. I still think Lane Hudson was it. But that was the reason why so many fans watched. Because I think in everybody's heart of hearts, you knew last year was not going to be the year. You know, last year was a building block. Last year was a developmental year for the Flyers. Last year was, okay, let's see what a Matvei Michkov can do. Let's see what a Tyson Forrester can do. And when Matvei Michkov came over, a lot of people thought, man, like, this isn't great for his development because you've got Torts. You've got a guy that is routinely very hard on young players, demands a lot of them, but more than any of that is a guy that routinely looks at defense more than offense. And with Matvei Michkov, his big thing was he is an offensive machine. He is a playmaker. He's a guy that is able to do a lot with the puck in the offensive zone. Defensive-wise, how much was he really being asked in the KHL? You know, I mean, I always looked at it like there's kind of a reason why he ended up on Sochi last year or 2 years ago in the KHL. Maybe it was attitude. Maybe it was like, I don't really want to be here, whatever it was. But you figure over in the KHL, are they really prioritizing the defensive responsibilities of a young player when he is that good? Probably not. So he comes over to the Americas, what is it, 1655? He comes over to North America, and he's got to learn the defensive structure of the NHL. And Torts is really good at that, but he's hard on young players, as I said. And he thrives. He thrives under Torts' system. He has a great rookie year, and then you have a more, I think, offensive-minded coach a little bit in Rick Tocchet, who comes over, and he kind of does the 180. Like, he acts, I feel like, what a lot of people expected Torts to treat Matvei Michkov like. He does that. And I think a lot of fans were surprised, and it was the sole focus of the entire year was, what is going on with Matvei Michkov? And I'm trying to get Charlie O'Connor on from PHLY, the preeminent Flyers reporter, to talk about the playoff series coming up against Pittsburgh. So look out for that, and hopefully, you know, maybe by the time you see this, it'll be up in the right in the upper corner up there. But Charlie and Bill Matz, his co-host for the Flyers show on PHLY, they were live at the Flyers Carnival, and I'll bring this up to Charlie. And credit to Bill Matz, because I think he did what a lot of fans wanted to do. But in the situation of like when you're face to face with a guy, it is kind of tough to at times just be like, what are you doing? But Bill Matz asked him. He asked Rick Tocchet, like, dude, what are you doing? You know, I mean, we all want to see Matvei Michkov play 15 minutes a game. You're playing him like 9. You're sitting him in key moments. Like, why is that? And Rick Tocchet stuck to his guns and was like, all right, well, you tell me why. Like, why should I just give him the minutes because you think he deserves it? He's got to learn two-way hockey. I mean, this is Coach O'Brien from Mighty Ducks 3. And that was the focus. It was like, fire Tocchet, this isn't working. And then it started to move in a different direction. And then all of a sudden you saw it. And the last time I interviewed Charlie, which, again, you can find it up there, it was right before the Olympics. And I joked, this will be typical Flyers. Like, we could all see them making a run, and I said that every year it seems like Flyers fans around, second week of March, it's like we're only 6 points out. And it's always we're only blank points out of a playoff spot because there is a glimmer of hope. Flyers let you down. They didn't do it. Do I think the Flyers are going to go on a cup run? No, I don't. I know everybody's going to point back to, what was that, 2011, 2010, whatever it was, when they beat the Rangers in the shootout and they ended up going on a cup run. I think people are going to point to that because you've gotten in the playoffs this year on a shootout. I don't think that the team really has the goaltending this year. I mean, Dan Vladar's been very good, but I just think that there are way, way, way better teams. It's not really about that, though. It's about this team going from, a top 6, 7 worst team in the NHL last year to getting in the playoffs with a new coach who has been highly scrutinized and criticized by the fan base for the majority of the year when they weren't able to see the forest of the trees. That this team was just able to make the playoffs without Matvei Michkov playing 15 minutes. And this is going to be such a big year for Michkov. I'm not a huge Chris Pronger fan for many reasons, but I will give him credit. I saw an interview with him as he was promoting his new book where he brought up, like, look, this is important for young players. You can't just give them what they want. They need to learn the game. And there's too many players that are given just whatever. Hey, you're the franchise. Go ahead and do your thing. And they end up finding themselves on new teams. Maybe that was the case with Trevor Zegras in Anaheim early on, where he was like the man, and he didn't learn this two-way hockey. And every time I have Charlie on and I ask him about Trevor Zegras, it's like, look, like he might not be great in the defensive zone, but he has dedicated a lot of time to buying into Rick Tocchet's system. And I think that you've seen this young core of players lead this team into the playoffs. And I think for the most part, for the majority of this season, as I said, like I feel like fans were not able to see the forest of the trees because they were focused on the negative. They were focused on Michkov because you were just expecting them to not make the playoffs. And then they go on this run. It is exciting. You end up getting the Battle of Pennsylvania against the Penguins. And again, like I don't expect them to win the series, but it's really not about that. It is about getting guys playoff experience. It's about getting Michkov playoff experience. Trevor Zegras playoff experience. Owen Tippett's I don't think he's ever played in the playoffs. And if he has, it was with Florida and not many minutes because that team was loaded. So it's getting these guys valuable experience when everybody in the NHL will tell you that playoff hockey is way different than regular season hockey. It's amped up. So yeah, a lot of fans right now owe Rick Tocchet a deep, deep apology because what this man was able to do with a team that doesn't really have a superstar. I think if you ask the casual hockey fan, okay, tell me about Philadelphia, like who do they have? And they'll go, okay, well they have Trevor Zegras and they have Matvei Michkov. That's probably where it stops. Maybe one or two says Travis Konechny, but that's about it. This coaching staff, Tocchet and the group, and by the way, credit to Danny Briere and Keith Jones, were able to compile a group of guys that were kind of, no disrespect, but like no names, not a great defensive core, and they were able to get this team into the playoffs. Put some respect on Rick Tocchet's name for the job he was able to do with the team he was able, with the team he was, hit thumbs down. I just had a stroke. With the team he inherited. I think Porter Martone has injected some life, and you see why he was the number 6 overall pick. And he's, I think, going to be a really, really, really good player. But he's not the reason why. He's not the reason why they made the playoffs. It's an exciting time to be a hockey fan in Philadelphia, but don't forget to give credit where it's due. If you're going to criticize the man for sitting your Russian savior, you got to give him credit because I think most Flyers fans, if you were giving them an option at the beginning of the year, you're going to make the playoffs, but Matvei Michkov's probably going to have a little bit of a down year. He's going to take a step back. He's not going to play 15 minutes, but he's going to play like 11 minutes a night. But you're going to make the playoffs. Or Matvei Michkov can play 15 to 20 minutes a night, but you're not going to make the playoffs. And he might have a little bit of a better year, but you're not going to make the playoffs. I think a lot of fans would have expected that the latter, but they would have jumped at the former. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. As far as comments go, I'm probably only going to answer channel members. So become a channel member, support the channel. It costs like $1.99. Helps me stay above the poverty line. Hit thumbs up if you like this. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. Subscribing is cool. I don't know where the button is, but subscribe. That's cool. All right, I'm going to go now.